Hello, friends. Today we'll talk about my mother at 66. We also talk about the purpose why this poem has been included into the course of CBSE class 12. Unless and until you explore all these points, you will not be able to understand what the poem is and what is the purpose of this is. The poem is meant to help students understand and connect with the universal emotions of love, aging, separations, and family bonds. The poem teaches you to recognize the emotional reality. The poem that parents grow old and children must learn to accept that change with maturity and sensitivity. This poem my mother, at 66, has very nicely helped students develop emotional sensitivity and empathy toward their parents. Through this poem, the students can easily understand the theme of aging and mortality in realistic, relatable manner. He will be able to recognize the value of familial love and bonding, especially with the parents. They can also observe how poetry expresses personal emotions through imagery and symbolism. He will also be able to appreciate modern Indian English poetry, especially the confessional style of Kamala Das. It also reflects on life's transition from childhood dependence to adult responsibility. Now, who Kamala Das is, before going to understand the poem, let's come to know about her. Kamala Das, a pioneer poetess of Indian origin, often wrote in English and Malayalam. Her poetry generally deals with themes of love, womanhood, loneliness, identity, and the struggle to be understood. Her Malayalam pen name is Madhavikutty. The title, My Mother at 66, is suitable because it highlights the central theme of aging and her fear of losing her mother. Apart from this, the title also reflects the emotional bond, the realization of mortality, and the pain of separation which the poet actually feels. The theme is the theme The poem actually explores the universal theme of aging and the fear of separation. The poet expresses her emotional pain as she realizes that the mother is growing old and may leave her soon forever. Her mother's pale face reveals the difference between young and old age. It reflects love, anxiety, helplessness, and acceptance of life's reality. Now, I have also prepared a short summary to make you understand the poem in a better manner. Kamala Das is traveling with her old mother to the airport. While traveling, she experiences her mother's sleeping face, keeping her mouth wide open. Her face appears pale like a corpse when she her mouth wide open. Her face appears pale like a corpse when she was perturbed and afraid of losing her mother. She looks outside the window and looked young children running, green trees passing, which is a symbol of title, youth, and energy. Finally, she at the airport smiles and says, "See you soon, Amma," hiding her face. Her smile is a mask to cover her emotional pain. The literary devices, what I have noticed while reading the poem, is a face like that of a corpse. This is simile because the two objects are directly being compared. One is the corpse and the another one is the face. Trees is printing. This is personification. When pale as a late winter's moon, this is a metaphor. And what metaphor is? Metaphor is an implied simile. In other words, you can say this is an indirect comparison between the objects. A smile, and a smile. This is the repetition. And this has been done in order to hide the pain the poetess has bored in the core of her heart. Children verses one thing more. I have noticed that the poem is having some contrast, and the contrast is done between children versus mother. Now, let's have one more point, and that is the tone and mood, what is also very important while appreciating it. The tone of the poem is sad, nostalgic, anxious, and compassionate, whereas the mood of the poem is emotional, uneasy, and tender. The poem actually captures a universal experience. The moment we realize our parents are getting older, Kamala experiences fear without melodrama. The strength of the poem is its simplicity, silent pain, and relatable moments. The free verse structure makes it feel natural, like actual thoughts. Though the questions are there in the poem, the chapter itself, as think it out, what is the kind of pain and ache that the poet feels? Why are the young trees described as sprinting? Why has the poet brought in the image of the merry children spilling out of their homes? Why has the mother been captured to the late winter's moon? What to do? The parting words of the poet and her smile signify. Although all these questions have been answered in the explanation what I made. Despite, if you feel the answer of all these questions, I must write it. But for this, you have to give or write it in the comment box. Thank you. Thanks a lot.